I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
Hello everyone and welcome to another news roundup for Mega Man Zero/ZX Legacy Collection. It's still pretty surreal that it's even a thing, and Capcom has finally officially confirmed the collection earlier today as I'm recording this video. That means we got the official press release and all that good stuff. So let's go over the new information that came out and then we'll discuss some other considerations as well. Also, I recommend checking out the initial video I did on the collections because I'm only going over the new information here. I'm not going to repeat myself too much. So the basic details are Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection will have Mega Man Zero 1, 2, 3, and 4, and also Mega Man ZX and Mega Man ZX Advent. All 6 of those games will be bundled together in one collection, so it's not going to be split up or anything. It's all one collection, and it's going to run you $29.99 US, aka 30 bucks. It's coming out on January 21st, and it has been officially confirmed now that it's coming out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC through Steam. So just like the previous collections. In North America, the collection will be coming out both digitally on the respective console stores and at retail, so there will be a physical copy in North America. For consoles, that is, because as you would expect with Steam, there's not going to be a physical version for the PC version. You're going to have to buy it through Steam, that's it. Unfortunately for our friends over in Europe, there is not going to be a physical release over in Europe, which, to be honest, is to be expected. They didn't really do physical for Mega Man 11 or any of the other collections as well over in Europe, as far as I understand at least, which obviously that really sucks. I really do wish you guys could get the physical releases as well, which makes a great segue into one of my big points I want to make with this video. Guys, you bought Mega Man Legacy Collection and you got Mega Man 11. You bought Mega Man X Legacy Collection and we're getting Rockman X Dive, and Capcom is currently working on another Mega Man game that we don't know about yet. It could be X9, it could be something else, but either way, something is coming. Now, if you buy Mega Man Zero/ZX Legacy Collection, Capcom is going to look at that and be like, oh, okay, so they actually want other Mega Man series too besides Classic and X. Because as we know, Capcom started this whole Mega Man revival phase with doing Classic and X stuff, because those are the most popular series, there's no denying that. That's what makes the most money for them. But the fact that they're releasing this collection, it's showing that they are starting to look into the other series as well, and we need to capitalize on that by showing them that we do want these games. And yes, I'm talking with our wallets, because at the end of the day, money talks louder than anything else. I've already had people tell me, but ShadowRock, I already have the original games. Get it anyways. This is your chance to tell Capcom you want the ZX series to be completed. You don't want that ZX Advent cliffhanger to stay there forever. You want a ZX3, right? Well then buy this collection. Capcom is literally giving you a chance right now to vote with your wallet that you want the ZX series to continue. Do it. Do not sleep on this chance. And for me personally, it's really the convenience of this collection that is really nice to me. Having all the mainline Mega Man platformer games on one console like the Switch is a really wonderful prospect. And I'm sure down the line we may get Legends, Battle Network, and Star Force 2, so I'm really loving these Legacy Collection releases just so we can have all the Mega Man games in one centralized place, with some updates, some art galleries, some other little neat features like that. But mainly at the end of the day, it's the convenience that really makes these collections worth it. That, and Capcom really is looking at the sales of these collections to gauge whether they should start working on sequels to these games. And so far, Legacy Collection sold well, X Legacy Collection sold well as well. So Capcom knows we want those games. Now it's time to tell them that we want ZX to come back as well. Now with that rant out of the way, if you are going to buy the game, here's some of the other details that you need to know. If you pre-order the game right now, you'll get 6 alternate in-game music soundtracks. That's one additional track for each game. And then you'll also get 4 new music tracks to listen to in the music player. So a lot of these are arrangements of previous Mega Man Zero and ZX tunes. And yes, it is confirmed now that there will be new music and new artwork made specifically for this collection. And the whole thing with the pre-order bonus about the alternate in-game music tracks makes me really think, are we going to have a arranged soundtrack made for each of the games in this collection? Because bro, that would be amazing. It would make this collection totally worth it to replay all those games again with these remastered soundtracks. And of course you can listen to the original ones too. We'll have to see. But it would be weird if we could only change out one little track in the entirety of each of these games. So I'm hoping that there's more where that came from. As for the pre-order bonuses themselves, have a listen to some of these tracks. In addition to the pre-order bonus, you will also have the other features in the game itself, like the art gallery that will have 600 pieces of original production art across all 6 games, the music player, the easy mode options like casual scenario mode, and the safe stating feature with that capsule item. Last but not least, the Z Chaser mode, which is like a speedrun racing mode it looks like. They said they will reveal more details on that as time goes on. Overall, seems like a nice little bundle. It doesn't look too bad at all. Over in Japan, the collection is known as Rockman Zero and ZX Double Hero Collection. Well, I guess the eventual Rockman EXE collection can't use that name now. We also got a Japanese trailer that showed off some small differences, mainly the blood splatter effects that have been exclusive to the Japanese version of the Zero games. They censored that when they brought it over to the West. Other than that, the only other difference is that the release date over in Japan is going to be January 23rd, so a couple of days after the Western release, just like we had with the previous Legacy collections in Mega Man 11. What's really amazing though is this limited edition. Just look at that. This is a Japanese exclusive limited edition being offered through the Capcom store. And like previous limited editions, highly doubt this is coming to the West unfortunately because it looks really good. You get a physical copy of either the PlayStation or Nintendo Switch version, which look at that cover art, man, that is so delicious. You also get a 5-inch 3D Zero bust, an A5 size acrylic villains print drawn by series artist Toru Nakayama, which this is a good time to mention that all the new artwork in this collection seems to be done by Toru Nakayama himself. He was the original artist for the Mega Man Zero and ZX series, and it's great to see that they brought him back, because his art style is quite unique. In addition to the bust and the villains print, you'll also get one of 2 Z-Saber acrylic keychains, a normal color and an Omega color. Which one's your favorite? Now, this being a limited edition with a big bust and a print, this is not going to be cheap at all. Because over on nindengame.com, if you want the whole set, you're going to have to shell out $138. And that's not even counting the tax and the import costs, because this is Japanese exclusive. You're going to have to import this, and that's going to cost you a lot more. So yeah, a really cool limited edition, but this is really for the hardcore fans that even have that money to shell out. And at least on the Capcom store, they are offering a version with just the bust and the print by itself, and that alone is a $100 value. So yeah, it's really the extra stuff that's driving up the cost. The game itself is only $30 just like here, so that's all fine and dandy. However, the eCapcom store does not ship outside of Japan, so you're going to need to try retailers such as Nintendo like I just mentioned, or PlayAsia. But I have not seen it gone up on PlayAsia yet, just Nintendo. But keep your eyes on those websites. Chances are they'll get them in. And I would suggest you hurry as well because these pre-orders will sell out fast. Just like they did with the Mega Man 11 limited edition. Well, if you're not interested in the limited edition though, eCapcom is also selling these A4 size acrylic prints of these old pieces of Mega Man 0 and ZX artwork. And they all look freaking amazing anyway, so why not? But then here comes another big one. We have a Rockman and Rockman X 5-in-1 box set for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. This box set includes Rockman Legacy Collection 1 and 2, Rockman X Legacy Collection 1 and 2, and Rockman 11. And you're gonna get a box that has brand new package art by Ryuji Higurashi and Mega Man X series artist Keisuke Mizuno to hold all your games in. The box will even have room to fit in your new copy of Rockman 0/ZX Legacy Collection. So you can have all your games together in one place. Isn't that nice? In addition, with this box set, you will get an acrylic art stand featuring that Game Informer magazine artwork with the 30th anniversary Mega Man art, the Rockman 11 script in written form, and that about does it. As per usual, the Japanese side is definitely going all out for this collection and Mega Man in general. Wish we could get that limited edition over here in the States, but I'm not thinking it's likely. One of my favorite things from the trailer though is just how the full motion videos from the ZX games, at least shown in the trailer, look actually HD quality. If you remember, the original cutscenes were on that dinky little DS 240p resolution screen, and they look rather pixelated. So this collection, if they are indeed HD, which they look to be, that is really cool. And if they are either remastering or already had the source files for those cutscenes on hand, I'm hoping they might have the original files for some of the voice acting for the ZX games as well. Especially ZX Advent, where if you remember in that game, the voice acting sounded very compressed because they had to shrink it down to fit on the DS card.
You are the one who's been trying to have us killed? Don't look so angry. Welcome to Legion, defective. Master Albert!
So a lot of the voices sound very compressed, obviously. I'm hoping they have the uncompressed sound files on hand for this occasion so that while the dubbing itself isn't the best, I think having the uncompressed, high quality sound files will at least help it a little bit. After all, we have to hear about Ash's quest for the booty, right? In full HD. Well, are they using uncompressed audio files? Let's take a listen to a comparison between the trailer and the original game. For me, it's really hard to tell based off of one-liners and grunts. When we hear some full-length dialogue later on, we will know for sure. But what do you think? And no, a redub doesn't sound very likely because we already heard in the trailer Ash saying, "It's over! It's over!" And we heard a little bit of Gray's usual lines as well. And I highly doubt a redub would be in their budget anyways, it's just a collection after all, not a full-on remake. But something else about the voice acting I would like to see in the game is them restoring the ZX1 Japanese voice acting with the English subtitles intact. That would be a good compromise there, because I don't know if they would go all the way with recording a new English dub just for ZX1. But if they would restore the Japanese voice acting, that would be something. And on that note, another thing that would be very nice is if they, like in previous Legacy collections, allow us to play the Japanese versions as well. That way we do get all of the voice acting going on. We get the blood splatter effects back in Mega Man 0, among other localization changes between the two versions. Like, Mega Man ZX Advent also has a vocal song for its opening that we didn't get. Now, will this vocal song be in the Legacy collection? I'm gonna say no, at least for the North American release. Because you might remember in the X Legacy collections, they had to remove all the vocal songs because of the rights only really being for Japanese territories. So I'm thinking the same thing is going to be the case here with Zero and ZX Legacy Collection. So if the vocal song is something you really want that badly, I would say just import the Japanese version just to play it safe. Because you should be able to change between the regions for each of the games anyway, so you can still play in English no matter which version you buy. And here are some other things to consider for this upcoming collection. One of the big ones is, do you remember in Mega Man ZX1 in Area M, where if you go down to the basement level, you'll find these doors that cannot be opened unless you have 03 or 04 in the GBA slot of the DS. And that will lead to refights with some of the 03 and 04 bosses. Defeating them would get you the Mysterious Rock that would allow you to get Model O, which lets you play as Omega Zero basically. And I got a question asking, will those fights be accessible in the collection? And personally, I think that is a very likely thing, because Capcom would have to see that those doors are locked behind a requirement that cannot be fulfilled no matter what you do on the other platforms. So I'm thinking they're going to just remove the GBA slot requirement entirely. I don't know if they might replace it with a different requirement, or they'll just let you go in no matter what. Maybe the latter, so that all of that content there will still be available for you. Especially since they did tweaks like that for the Mega Man Battle Network games on the Wii U. They gave you all the secret chips, and they gave you codes to fight Base XX and stuff like that, so you can still access all the content in those games, at least most of them. So I'm thinking they will do similar tweaks for ZX1 here as well. The other things are for the Zero games themselves. Another question I got is, will Mega Man 03 have the e-reader mod cards? That created a lot of different special effects. I think it's possible actually, because if you look in the art gallery section of the trailer, you'll see that there's a bonus card section right there. So I'm thinking maybe that's where the e-reader cards are, or there might be containing another menu in the game. But the bonus card option there definitely sounds promising. So how about that 02 PvP mode and that ZX Advent Gym Crusher PvP mode? Well, the description of the game does say that it can be played by 1 to 2 players, so I'm thinking those modes will still be available, and you probably will even be able to do couch co-op with it. I think that could be cool, unless the 1 to 2 players is referring to the new Z Chaser mode, but I say why not both? On the topic of the Z Chaser mode, there is a couple of analysis type things I can mention. You got your time, you got your record and world record. It looks like there'll be difficulty modes like normal and hard. On the right you got your progress gauge, where it actually documents how far you are from the beginning of the stage to the boss, which is pretty cool. We can also tell that each of the zeros are different colors, and they also have the full HP bar, but with them being different colors, those are clearly the EX forms. So I'm wondering if perhaps before the match starts, you'll get to pick out your loadout of EX weapons and EX forms, sort of like X Challenge where you picked out your special weapons beforehand, perhaps. I'm also thinking of how this mode will work to begin with. Are you actually going to fight opponents in real time online or on the couch? Or are you going to go online and download some ghost data of someone else's run and then you race against that run? Not sure, but maybe there is some evidence to point to it being a live race as well. Because if you look during this footage, it will say that you're racing against a CPU opponent who is an S rank. So it seems like the player in this footage is racing against a CPU, which I guess would explain the difficulty mode too. So maybe there will be a single player component to this where you get to race against a lot of different, let's say like developer ghosts or something. But from the looks of it, it may also just be AI controlled in general. So the runs could be different each time you play. Then when you go over to the Japanese trailer, we get to see some different scenes, and where it used to say CPU, it now has a couple of usernames like Vince and Ale. Now obviously the players aren't playing as Vince and Ale right now, so I'm thinking this is a username, like an online username, which would point to the fact that you will be racing against somebody in real time online. Another thing people have been speculating is this going to be a straight on race, or are you going to be able to affect your opponent in some ways? It's hard to say, because from the looks of it, it looks just to be a straight on race so far. But there's still a lot we don't know about Z Chaser mode. and they do plan to reveal more details as time goes on. So we shall have to wait and see. The last thing is that Mega Man Zero 3 also had some connectivity with Mega Man Battle Network 4, where if you went into the Cyber World areas, you'll get to fight some of the viruses from the Battle Network series. This one might be a little trickier. Maybe they can add in a special requirement that you can do to unlock those viruses, but otherwise it might be one of those small things that they may end up just forgetting about when they do this collection. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But guys, that was just some new information and some considerations to think about when it comes to the Mega Man Zero/ZX Legacy Collection. Are you guys hyped for this collection? Let me know in the comment section below. For all things Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection and Rockman X Dive, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX. Until next time, rock on, have a great day.